Unlike Napa Valley, New England isn't usually synonymous with wine, but that could be changing. The Pioneer Valley is home to at least 10 vineyards, including Mount Warner in Hadley. Producer Tony Dunn and videographer Dave Fraser bottled this.
This is Mount Warner Vineyards in Hadley, Massachusetts. We're a farmer winery located in the Pioneer Valley. This is our second career. This is what my wife and I call our what's next. I've been a college professor for over 30 years in an academic field totally unrelated to growing grapes or making wine. But I've got a little bit background in science and chemistry, and so each person, I think, enters winemaking and growing grapes from their own field, from their own interests. I've perhaps only met one or two people who are academically trained in plant and soil science or enology and winemaking, and most people come into it from some other area. I spent the 1970s here in the Pioneer Valley as a student at the University of Massachusetts. Had the opportunity to be a professor at a couple of different universities around the country, and then we returned here to UMass actually in 1995. When we found this piece of land with a kind of a neat view of looking toward the Pelham Hills, I realized this was going to be a tremendous site for a vineyard. Again, the combination of the slope and the soil. We've got about 40 wineries in Massachusetts, and what you need to think about is the fact that we're growing grapes, we're making different wines than those that many people are familiar with. We're frequently not growing Cabernet Sauvignon or Chardonnay or Malbec. We're growing grapes like Cayuga, Céval, Marquette. These grapes fill a niche. For example, the white grapes make a white wine that has a tremendous backbone and acidity, stands up well to Asian foods, to spicy foods, and frequently they're easy drinking summer wines, and the reds are kind of medium bodied, frequently a pizza or maybe a barbecue type of wine, and so they fill a niche that's a little bit different than what many people are familiar with in terms of traditional grapes and traditional wines. We have 9 or 10 different varieties. About half of them are red grapes and about half of them are white grapes. They're all French-American hybrid grapes, mostly developed at Cornell University and/or the University of Minnesota. Our little microclimate has a number of benefits. You know, we're only about a half a mile from the Connecticut River, and so we benefit from just a little bit of warming there in the winter, and it provides a little bit of a breeze in the summer to chase away the dew. We also have a nice slope in our vineyard, and we've got some nice sandy soil so that the grapes are well drained. Vines don't like wet feet. They like well drained soil. Those roots, they'll go down 10, 20 feet to find water when they need to. It all starts with harvesting the grapes, and well, we harvest them. We use a number of different characteristics to determine when to harvest the grapes. We measure acidity and sugar, and of course we taste the grapes and get some sense of whether it's ready to harvest. When we bring the grapes in, we weigh them to have some idea of just how much of a crop load we've had. And then the grapes are put through a crusher destemmer, a machine that crushes the grapes a little bit and also removes the stems that would contribute some bitterness to the wine. Once they go through the crusher destemmer, the subsequent must is put through a press. For a white wine, we press immediately, and we begin fermentation either in glass, some kind of a carboy or stainless steel tank. And then the wine is ready to bottle in something between 3 and 4 months, but sometimes as long as 11 and 12 months, again depending upon the style of the wine and the characteristics of the grape. It's tremendously satisfying. You know, both grape growing and winemaking are part art and part science. And I'll tell you what, quite often I enjoy coming out on my deck after dinner with a glass of wine and looking over my vineyard and thinking about what I did during the day and all I've got to do the next day. And I've come to really enjoy the place where I live out here in Hadley in Western Mass, and certainly enjoy my grape growing and winemaking.